It's not difficult, is it, Angelica? I mean, that is what a woman is.
I mean, I don't know why you're obsessed with defining it. Like, what is a man? Like, why do we need these arbitrary...
A man is a male, adult human. I mean, that's it.
Right, okay. I don't know that we need
these are just biological facts, but they're just facts. They're not arguable points, are they?
Well, but I think we have a right to self-identify. And you said
as
you
what?
want to...
As what?
If you'd like to be a woman, you can identify as a woman. I don't know why there is such an issue around
We've literally just seen a male rapist use that scam to get himself put into a female prison where he could attack vulnerable women inside a female prison, when even his ex-wife said it was all a scam.
Which is a terrible, very distressing, isolated incident. And I think it's easy to take that and say that means that no one can identify as a woman.
But
and
it's not an isolated incident, though.
But it's
42% of trans-identifying prisoners in prison are in there for sex crimes. There's actually an advantage, evidently, to identifying as a female, because they never identify as male, because somehow male prisons seem less appealing to them. It's really weird. Anyway.
Piers Morgan's take on woke culture. A bold critique. Piers Morgan, the renowned British journalist and political commentator, has made headlines with his unabashed critiques of woke culture. His fearless approach to discussing controversial topics has not only garnered attention, but also sparked significant debate. In a series of interviews, Morgan has systematically challenged the foundations of modern woke ideology, exposing its inconsistencies and flaws. This blog explores his arguments, highlighting the essence of his critique on gender identity, equality, and the broader implications of cancel culture. Defining gender, a simple biological fact. One of the recurring themes in Morgan's discussions is the definition of gender. During an interview, he posed a provocative question: should biological males be allowed to compete in women's sports? The question, while straightforward, opens a Pandora's box of debate around gender identity and fairness in competition. Morgan argues that allowing biological men to compete in women's sports undermines the very essence of women's rights and equality. He emphasizes that a woman is defined as an adult female human, a biological fact that should not be overlooked. Morgan's stance is clear: while individuals should have the right to self-identify, the implications of such rights must be scrutinized. He points out the absurdity of allowing someone like Lionel Messi, if he identified as a woman, to dominate women's football. This, he argues, not only compromises the integrity of women's sports, but also raises ethical questions about the inclusivity of such policies.
Your antidote for this new wokeism is to lead and to create a counter-narrative, which is what you're doing with your new show, Piers Morgan Uncensored. It's what you did with your book as well. Are you optimistic deeply that that will win?
Well, let me ask you a question. So I'm described as highly controversial, right? I've been called all sorts of names. People say that what I say, things I say are outrageous. When you read my book, how many times did you stop and think, well, that's outrageous?
No, I didn't really disagree with anything.
Right. So that's my point. I don't think I'm the controversial one. Well, I think I come at this from a reasonably common sense
in your book,
perspective.
I didn't disagree with you at all, because you were talking about things like populism and liberalism and how it's changed. I completely agree. I think I used to identify as being on the left. Now I don't, because because
they're nuts, a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of it is absolutely nuts. I also don't really identify with being on the right either, because they're nuts.
I agree.
As well. So I find myself in this.
You get nuts on both sides, and we're moving to the extremities.
But I'll get cancelled from both sides.
The flaws in woke logic. In another striking moment, Morgan confronted an individual who struggled to articulate a coherent response to his questions about the implications of woke ideologies. He highlighted the inconsistency of being triggered by a rainbow flag while failing to recognize the absence of representation for straight individuals in public spaces. Morgan's critique extends to the notion that the loudest voices in the woke movement often dodge direct questions and resort to vague, emotionally charged responses. He argues that this pattern of behavior reflects a broader issue within woke culture, the inability to engage in meaningful dialogue. By framing discussions in a way that avoids confrontation, proponents of woke beliefs often miss the opportunity for genuine understanding and growth. Morgan's challenge is not merely to criticize, but to encourage a return to rational discourse. The evolution of woke culture. In a candid interview with the Diary of a CEO, Morgan elaborated on the transformation of the term woke. He noted that in the past, being woke was associated with the pursuit of racial and social equality. However, he asserts that the modern interpretation has devolved into a form of authoritarianism, akin to fascism. This new wave of woke culture demands conformity to its rules, threatening to ostracize those who dare to disagree. According to Morgan, the algorithms of social media exacerbate this issue by creating echo chambers where only like-minded opinions are validated. This leads to a society where differing viewpoints are not only dismissed but actively silenced. He likens this behavior to tribalism, where communities once united by shared values now fracture into hostile factions unwilling to engage with outsiders. The need for healthy debate. At the core of Morgan's argument is a call for the revival of healthy debate in society. He believes that true liberalism involves respecting and tolerating opposing opinions rather than shaming or canceling those who hold different views. This, he argues, is essential for the survival of democratic societies. The current climate, driven by a small but vocal minority, threatens to undermine the very foundations of democracy by stifling discourse. Morgan positions himself as a defender of democracy, advocating for a return to genuine discussions where consensus can be reached through debate. He challenges the notion that free speech equates to an echo chamber of agreement, emphasizing that true democracy thrives on the diversity of thought. Confronting cancel culture. Cancel culture, a significant aspect of woke ideology, is another area where Morgan has been vocal. He argues that the current climate of outrage and the need to cancel those who deviate from accepted narratives is counterproductive. Instead of fostering progress, this culture of censorship stifles innovation and prevents meaningful conversations from taking place. He asserts that real progress arises from open dialogue and the willingness to engage with challenging ideas. Morgan's critique of cancel culture serves as a reminder that silencing dissenting voices only exacerbates division and hinders societal growth. Conclusion. A call for thoughtful engagement. Piers Morgan's critiques of woke culture resonate with many who feel that the current climate stifles open dialogue. His arguments highlight the importance of recognizing biological realities, the dangers of tribalism, and the need for healthy debate in a democratic society. As we navigate the complexities of identity and social justice, Morgan's perspective serves as a call for thoughtful engagement rather than division. In an era where polarization seems to dominate, the challenge remains: how can we foster a society where diverse opinions are not only tolerated but celebrated? Morgan's bold stance encourages us to reflect on our own beliefs and the importance of engaging with differing viewpoints. After all, true progress is born from understanding, not silence.